Hi, my name is Christine, and I'm an ostomy nurse, and I work at HPFY. And I do thank you really for attending our monthly webinar. I'm going to ask that you hold all questions until the end of the presentation, and you can put them into the chat room. This way everybody is muted, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. So tonight's topic is hot summer fun with an ostomy. And I will start by saying summer is the best time. It's my favorite season. And it's a time for barbecues, outdoor parties, outdoor activities, hanging at the beach, doing a little swimming, all things that I love to do. So whether you're working in the yard or you want to take a hike, having an ostomy should not hold you back. So I'm going to talk about a few things to hopefully will ease you into enjoying your summer. So if you're feeling insecure, let's start with small steps. You can try going out for short periods of time and then build from that and work your way so that you feel comfortable being out with friends and family. So if you have an ostomy, I'd like you to, or an ileostomy, it's a good idea to try a protective seal. This is something that will help with sealing your, oh, thank you, Diane. Next slide. This protective seal, and I have one here, I'm going to show you. It's great for ileostomies. You stretch it to fit your stoma, and it has absorptive properties. So this is good in the heat of the summer if you live in a hot, humid environment or even swimming. This is great because it will absorb the moisture instead of the sweat hindering your adhesion. So this is an awesome product. It's called a protective seal. It's made by Coloplast. Awesome. And then barrier extenders. So these are added to the outer edge of your pouching system. So they come in regular size. They come in this Y type shape. And then they do have ones that are actually extra large. So if you have a larger stoma, this will accommodate fitting in around your wafer. I do recommend that you empty the pouch before going out or starting any activities. That will buy you a little bit of time and make you feel a little bit more comfortable. You also want to make sure that your pouch is intact for at least an hour before you're being active and, when heading out. So gardening, this is one of my favorite things. I find solace in it. So I'm out there doing lots of things, weeding. I use this 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot so that I'm not lifting heavy weights when I have to weed and empty the debris. So that's good. It gives you less weight to lift, and it also helps you walk more to go empty it. Another thing that's helpful is that if you're bending down, it's a good idea to put your hand over your pouching system. That will just help support your pouch while you're changing these positions. So once you're used to it and you've had a stoma for a while, you probably won't have to do that, but it's a great way to start and feel comfortable while you're participating in any type of activity. The other thing is hydration. Very important that we stay hydrated. Those with ileostomies, really a must. So always be carrying water with you. If you're out in that humid weather, you're going to dehydrate very quickly. So traveling, who doesn't like to travel in the summer months? So if you plan ahead with your supplies, you're going to feel much more comfortable and less anxious about traveling. So the first thing, pack extra supplies. You want to plan on doubling what you would normally use. This way, if you're swimming and you want to change your pouching system a little sooner than you normally would, you have extra and you won't have to worry about it. You don't want to run out. I'd rather come home with extra supplies than be away and worry about not having enough. Also, even if you're just, say you're going out to the beach for the day, you want to carry a little travel bag, and I'll hold this back. This zips, you've got all your supplies for a pouch change. Each of the manufacturers offer a travel bag when you're signed up into their customer support programs, and it's perfect. You should always carry a change of ostomy pouching supplies with you. And then I also recommend that in that pouch, you think of the things besides your pouch and your barrier and your scissor for cutting. You do want flushable wipes. Do pick a wipe that does not have aloe in it, because that's going to set your next pouch up to fail. So it's a good idea to have something moist to be cleaning your skin and clean up any messes that you have from a leak. Don't forget the moldable rings and the paste and the dispose bags that comes in your pouch, your box of pouches. So don't forget those as well. Now, also, there is some concern for people with ostomies about using a public restroom. So I just have a couple of tips here that are very helpful. You want to prevent splashing, and what you can do is put a little piece of toilet paper in the toilet before emptying your pouch. That's going to prevent some splashback as you empty. The odor, anybody who has an ostomy knows what I'm talking about. There's certain things you can do to help with that odor. So there's internal deodorants. One of them is Deodorant. These are pills. Let's see, it seems to be a little fuzzy here. These you can buy through your supplier for your ostomy supplies. You take a couple of these a couple of times a day. That's supposed to help with the odor internally. There's also a product called Chlorofresh, and you can find that online. I think Walgreens may carry it as well. That product has chlorophyll in it, which helps with the odor. Certain foods will help naturally with the odor, and that would be foods like parsley, yogurt, and buttermilk. You can also add pouch deodorants to your pouching system. And this one is a small 2-ounce size that you can carry in your purse. This is great. It will help. It also lubricates the pouch. And then for travel, they make these little packets that you can keep either in your, I don't know why that's so fuzzy, but travel size that you can keep in your pocketbook or in your pocket. Okay. Convatec has sachet diamonds. It works as a gelling agent as well as odor. And then there's biologic odor eliminator spray. And these are room fresheners that once you empty your pouch, you can spray. And there's a couple that come in these small 2-ounce sizes, so they're easy to carry. You can bring them on planes, just keep them in a small Ziploc bag. Many companies make different ones. I wish they weren't so fuzzy, but so this is just another brand. And they're refillable. So you can also buy like an 8-ounce bottle and refill your little travel sizes. The gelling agents, there's numerous ones out there. Ilisor by Symed looks like this, just like what you find in your pocketbook to absorb the moisture. This you would put into your pouch after you empty it, and this will turn your liquid as it fills the pouch into a gel. There's tablets called Gel X that do that as well. And then of course the sachet diamonds by Convatec. The other thing you want to consider is traveling. If you're going by plane, you can find on the United Ostomy Association website a travel card. This is for when you're going to be going through the security line at the airport. You want to hand it to the security agent before you go into the scanner. This tells them that you have an ostomy. You write on there which side of your body you have it. And that means they'll, if they have to pat you down, they'll take you somewhere private. Most often they have someone who will just make you touch your pouch, and they use a special wipe on your fingers to see if there's any explosive type material. And that's their way of being safe, to make sure you don't have any explosives. The other thing you want to do is, if you're traveling out of the country, learn the important questions. The biggest one for an ostomate is, where can I find a restroom? So you want to know how to say that in another language if you're traveling out of the country. All right, so sporting activities. No reason for you to hold back from those types of things. You do want to make sure that you have an intact pouch, usually wearing it a couple hours before you participate in sporting events. Empty your pouch before you start. Again, these barrier extenders are great to help with extra adhesive surface, gives you a little bit more security. Consider an ostomy belt. So if you're using a two-piece product, some of the one-piece products have belt tabs. And they're 1-inch elastic. I apologize, I don't have one with me. But that's great to offer a little bit extra support. Actually, there's one in the picture here. And then there's support belts. So if you're going to be very active, you can consider using some of the support belts. This one is made by New Hope. It's got reinforcement that goes right around your pouching system. Velcro's closed, so it fits right around. And these are available in, they start at a 3-inch width and they go up to 9 inches. So it's going to depend on how much security you want or how tall of a person you are. That's helpful. Also, Coloplast offers a support belt, and I'll hold that up. I don't know if you could see that. Theirs is also elastic. They do have a supported opening for your pouching system as well. And then if you're doing sports that are not high impact, but risk for injury to the stoma, things like racquetball, tennis, boxing, even karate, if there's kicking going on, you really want to protect that stoma. So what you're seeing here in this other picture are different types of stoma guards. So you would wear that right over your pouching system. One of them is made by Stealth Belt. They have wonderful products for swimming and these stoma guards. Now, swimming and sunning. So, certainly being in the sun, I do recommend sunscreen. Sunburn is bad for everybody, but you can consider using something over your pouch. You can wear that bikini if you want. They do make these pouch covers. It's open here so that your pouch can come out. When you do need to empty, it's got a Velcro closure here, so you can get the pouch out to empty it when you use the restroom. And there's a picture here. It comes in many colors, different prints. They do make swimsuits for men, as you can see. That's a product by Ostomy Secrets, and there's a pocket in the front of that to hold your pouch. Women, so this particular suit has a pouch in it as well, or a pocket that sits your pouch in it. And then Stealth Belt makes this neoprene cover that is great if you're doing things like snorkeling, riding on like a wave runner, or you're scuba diving, any significant water sports, water skiing, things of that nature. It's made of neoprene. So these are very helpful if you're into these heavy water sports. All right, so hydration. I touched briefly on it before. Hydration is really very important, especially if you have an ileostomy, when you're out in the summer heat or you're very active in participating in activities. Typically we need to drink 8-ounce glasses of fluid per day. But with an ileostomy and being out in this hot weather, we do recommend you're drinking 10 to 12. Drink something other than water. I mean, water can certainly dilute your electrolytes. And through sweat, you can get an electrolyte imbalance. So you want to use things like the Powerades, the Gatorade, Pedialyte, something that's going to replace salt, potassium, magnesium. These are all things that you lose through your ostomy and through sweating. If you are dehydrated, it can really cause you to feel nauseous. It can make you feel a little bit weak. It can give you some confusion. It also may make you unsteady. Syncope, this is when you fall or you pass out because your electrolytes are out of balance. So again, doing the Gatorade and the sports drinks are very good to help replace what you're losing. Now, signs of dehydration, other than what I just mentioned, And this is probably a little more long-term. Tiredness, you feel fatigued and sluggish. You can feel dizzy and lightheaded. Typically, you would see your urine color become very dark, or you might notice that you're not urinating as you normally do. Constipation, it could be a big problem with dehydration, although people with ileostomies will never have that problem with constipation. Typically, you will get a headache. You'll have some lack of concentration. Your memory might be a bit impaired, and you become pretty irritable when you're dehydrated. Physical signs, things like a dry mouth, dry cracked lips, dry skin, muscle cramping. I don't know if you guys have ever had any of that muscle cramping, but it's pretty painful, and usually they're in your legs. And with severe dehydration, it can certainly be in your hands as well. Typically, your blood pressure drops. Again, another reason for you to feel dizzy and lightheaded. And your body temperature will become elevated. So these last symptoms that I mentioned, those are severe symptoms, and that means you really need attention right away. I would suggest you go to the nearest emergency room for IV fluids. Chances are your electrolytes are pretty out of balance, and they'll need to replace some of that as well. So I'd like to close by saying, go ahead, get out there, have some fun, and enjoy your summer. And thank you so much for attending. If you have any questions at this point, feel free to put them into the chat box. Diane, who is helping me tonight, she's going to read the question, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. So Diane, do we have any questions so far?
So far, I don't see any questions.
Okay. Yeah, so really most of the summer should not be interrupted by you having an ostomy. I know I, for one, enjoy my summer, and I have not let my ostomy bother me. I'm out there doing everything that I love to do. Okay. So I wonder if any of you have ever tried any of the internal deodorants. I know there are a couple out there. There's tablets too that you can put in the pouch that help with odor as well. There's charcoal tabs you can buy over the counter. It will turn your output dark, black or gray, but that's okay. Unless you have a problem with bleeding, then I wouldn't recommend that. I didn't mention, I don't know if anybody knows high tape. This is waterproofing tape that you could put along the outer edge of your pouching system, your barrier. Works similar to these extended barrier strips. And this totally will waterproof your barrier. So another product out there that's very good. I didn't show you the filters. If you're swimming and you have a filtered pouch, your pouch, the box of pouches will come with these little stickers. I don't know if you could see them. These should go if you're showering, you put them over the filter. This will prevent water from getting into your pouch. And then, of course, after swimming or after your shower, remember to remove the filter, or the sticker, so that the filter can function normally. Let's see, trying to think if I have any other things I can impart on you. Most of the suppliers carry all of these products. The most common manufacturers you have or offer many different types of accessories, such as the deodorants, the lubricating things, the moldable rings. But there's also generic ones out there as well. Insurance companies typically will pay for these products. So I say go right ahead and get them and enjoy your summer. I think we have one question.
We do have a question, yes. Do these recommendations also apply for gastrostomy tubes?
So gastrostomy tubes. So if you're using the gastrostomy tube for drainage, typically a gastrostomy tube is for feeding. I do have a few patients that have them in that need to use it for draining purposes. I haven't seen anybody really too much with bags. So they're safe for you to use in a gastrostomy tube. Again, though, I don't have experience with very many of those tubes being used for drainage. And typically urostomy tubes or urostomy pouches for the urine, most of those pouches are anti-reflux, so the urine can't reflux back up through to the ureter and the stoma. But if you're using a leg bag and you want to use one of these gelling agents, that will buy you time and save space. So you can certainly use the gel type products in a urostomy.
We do have another question.
Sure.
Catherine would like to know, she says, I used the deodorant in bag, but I stopped using it because it made me nauseous.
So I would ask which brand are you using? Number one. So there's different brands that have they have some that don't have any scent to them. So if it's the scent of the lubricating deodorant, try a different brand. Try one that is unscented. And then I would recommend maybe HPFY offers something called Devco. They're tablets, they're little gray tablets that you put into your pouch. They have no odor to them. They work better for those who have liquid output as opposed to say formed. They do work better for that. But I would try a different brand of deodorant. Any other questions?
Anna replied to the question about gastrostomy tubes. She said we use them for feeding purposes.
Oh, okay. So then if you're not having a feeding going on, typically there shouldn't really be odor or drainage from it. So I would not recommend that you use any of these types of deodorants. Or if you're talking about swimming with your gastrostomy tube. That's interesting. Yeah. So sporting wise, you do want to make sure that your tube is secured to your body so that it's not, we don't want to get it caught on anything, and you don't want lots of movement, because the more movement you have at the insertion site, the more irritated you can get. I would check with your gastroenterologist about actually swimming with a feeding tube. That might be something that they might not want you to do. So I would check with your GI doctor first. So no deodorants. Skin protection is important with a gastrostomy tube in case you have any leakage at the insertion site. Other than that, most of these accessories for ostomies aren't appropriate for gastrostomy tubes. And for the person who didn't like the deodorant drops in the pouch, try the internal ones. Again, the Chlorofresh or the Devrom. I personally use the Devrom and the Devco tablets in the pouch. Those I find more helpful.
Anyone have any additional questions?
Has anybody traveled with their ostomy or got on an airplane? It's interesting being on an airplane, emptying your pouch, because I have done that. It's certainly you want to take your time. Again, use that toilet paper before you empty your pouch. That will help things go down into that toilet a little bit easier. I didn't mention that poopery. I don't know if any of you know about that, but they do make little travel size ones that you could keep in your purse. So that will help lubricate a public bathroom as well, and help with odor. All right, I think I see one more chat here. Catherine, you have an ileostomy and you're kind of used to it, and you've had it for about a year.
Yeah.
And you
I
don't.
don't have much output because I am TPN
Oh,
dependent.
okay, TPN dependent. So if you don't have a lot of output, what's great about that is you can use something called a pouch cover. Not a pouch cover. It's called a stoma cap, actually. So if you're using a two-piece pouching system, you can use this. It's very small. I don't have one with me, but it's round. It's, you know, about the size of an orange, but it will connect to your wafer. And so you don't have a whole lot going on. You know, you don't have to worry as much about hiding a pouch. It's very flat. They do make them with filters, and it will hold a small amount of fluid, but if you don't have much, hopefully you're using a pouch that's the mini pouches, or even a pouchkin, which is the ones they use for pediatrics. They're smaller, less noticeable, but look up a stoma cap. So that might be something you can do. Use instead of the regular size pouch, which is about this big. So the midi is nice and small, and the stoma cap is great.
She says, I use one piece and I am tiny, laughing out loud.
So you can use the one piece. Is it a midi? So I'm assuming you probably have a very tiny stoma. So yeah, you might be able to use a one-piece pouchkin, which is the pediatric size.
Anyone else?
Well, I certainly hope that all of you with ostomies are able to get out there and enjoy some nice things with family and friends. I don't know, I'm a summer person. I don't like the cold weather. So I'm so grateful when the heat comes, ostomy or not. We make it work. Now, I don't know if everybody who's here knows about our support group. HPFY sponsors a support group. It meets the second Tuesday of every month. And that is open to everyone. You can go to the Health Products for You or HPFY website to get the link to attend the support group. It's done via Zoom. We used to meet in person. We now do it Zoom since COVID. And it's great because we have people from all over the country that attend. And we've had people from Canada, New Zealand, even, out of the country. And it's awesome to meet with people, and people just tell their story if you want to talk. Some people just listen. But it's nice because most people with stomas like to share their story and the tricks they have learned to manage any of the issues that they've experienced. So it's good to have that extra support. So what do you think, Diane?
If anybody has any more questions or anything, now's the time. Oh, I think we do. One sec. Oh, Anna says, thank you so much for your valuable info.
Oh, you're welcome, Anna. Anytime. And for those of you who maybe want to listen to this webinar again, or maybe you missed something, they do get published on YouTube. I mean, the keywords you can put in to find webinars and other webinars that we've published is ostomy webinar, HPFY, and Christine, and you should get a list of any of the ones we've published so far.
Catherine says thank you as well.
You're welcome, Catherine. I wish you all well.
Okay. If there's no more questions, we can conclude this webinar.
Okay,
Thank you all for joining.
I will end by saying next month's webinar, we're going to talk about accessories, how to use them, and what to use for whatever type of pouching issues you're having. So that'll be specific to all types of accessories. So hope to see you then.
Yes.
And thank you again.
Thank you all. Be safe, be well. Bye-bye.
Be safe, be well. Bye now.